So my girlfriend is doing a Pokemon cosplay. I don't know the name of this Pokemon, but I can show you a picture. So this is the Pokemon that she is cosplaying as. She's doing like a humanoid version of it. And if you know anything about Pokemon, you would know that there's like a couple other ones that look very similar, but like different animal types. I that's as much as I know. I know there's like a bear or like a gorilla or something, and then there's like a third one. She's in a group. Her and two other people are doing these three Pokemon, and she asked me to help her with the wings and the tail. This is a like kimono wrap thing that she got. Comes with a pink sash, which is perfect. Um, so yeah, she has purchased under my guidance some poly cotton blend broadcloth in both orange and white, and got 2 yards of the orange and 1 of the white. And right now I'm doing the wings. What I'm thinking of doing is just kind of that kind of like wing shape, maybe like 4 separate feathers. There's this fan art that I found that somebody like drew a like humanoid cosplay kind of thing. I'm not going to show you the picture because I don't have the name of the artist anymore, and I don't have the link to it anymore. I think I found it on Twitter around the time when she asked me. But so I'm not going to show that just because I don't want to, show it without promoting who they are. But it's surprisingly similar to what she's doing. It's that kind of like kimono wrap top. She'll wear like some kind of tank top underneath, black shorts. She's got orange tights and black shoes, and then she's gonna wear like tube socks to do like the little white ankle stripes things. But yeah, so the wings, I'm going to sew it to the under edge of the sleeve, and I'm thinking of having it slightly stuffed. She said something about like fringe, and I want to lean into the like it's because doing just fringe feels kind of boring to me. Like sure, like her and her group have like some kind of thing figured out for the like loopy belt area. I think it was styrofoam rings zip tied together. I think yeah, that's what she showed me when I went over to pick up the fabric in the kimono. Um, but I feel like just like fringe would be kind of weird. Also, it's if I just cut the fringe, it'll start fraying and it'll look really bad. So I want to kind of do, I guess, something like this where it comes straight off from the sleeve, maybe with a slight curve. No, not with a slight curve. Straight down, about that far. Same as over here, but that I'm not sure how I want to do that yet. I think these sleeves, you can see they're kind of short. I think they stop about mid forearm on her. But yeah, I definitely want to do like have it be about 2 inches wide, and then like a little V like that. Two. That. It wasn't intentional, but I am kind of tapering it up a little bit so it kind of swoops in a little bit more. I know my arm is entirely in the way. Yeah, one more. Like that. Yeah, I think that looks good. Because it's going to be, in an integral part, like it's going to be hanging from the sleeve, I don't want it to just be a flat piece of fabric. I want it to have a little bit of shape. Maybe I'll like just do like a line of straight stitches up to kind of separate the feathers a little bit. Looking at the official art of the Pokemon, the separation actually goes all the way up to the black, but I don't want to like have it be like separate tubes, if that makes sense. Yeah, because it's like wing shape, and then the one wing that's like out, the like feather separation lines go all the way up through the black on that first one, and then when you see the ones that are like under the like quote unquote elbow, they meet the black. Maybe I'm just using the scissors to keep the paper down. It's wrapping paper that I use for pattern making. So what if it's so in my way? So what if I them a little bit wider, came up a little bit taller. I think I like that more. Yeah, that feels more feathery like. The little points, not quite enough. I'll still taper the points to be a little bit shorter. Yeah, I think I like that a little bit better. Quickly. Cut that off and cut that out. I also plan on putting a little bit of orange at the collar where on the Pokemon it has that kind of like white stripe that has that comes to a point. And that fan art also has the collar have an orange stripe on it. Oh, the perils of using wrapping paper. Oh, come on. And I did ask her in person if I could do that. Obviously, they want to have a bit of cohesion between their cosplay. I am not helping anybody else with their cosplay. They each are individually, I'm assuming, each individually doing their own thing when it comes to the costume, like the fabric clothing part. And she asked me because she is my partner. She knows that I sew. They had originally asked with help with the like loopy kind of figure 8 shaped tie part of the cosplay, and she asked if I could crochet it. And I was honest with her. I was like, I don't know. I wouldn't even know how to begin to make a shape like that. Like looking at it, it's not even like an even figure 8. It's like a teardrop on top of a circle with 2 little kickstands coming off the bottom of the circle. And I'm just like, no, sorry, I don't think I can do it. She's like, that's okay. I just wanted to ask. And obviously they came up with something a little bit better. Also, not to mention, even if I could figure it out, she asked me that. When did they decide to do this? Over a month ago, they decided to do this. And that's when she like asked me, and I would still be crocheting it because I would be trying to figure out stuff, as well as basically making full-size belts, or I think it's almost scarf-like on one of them. I don't know. Okay, that will be the wings. For the tail, so I measured her, this comes pretty long on her. Get this out of the way. this comes pretty long on her, and I measured from the bottom of the hem to the ground so it doesn't drag. I don't want it to be so long, the tail, that it starts to drag. I don't want it to start exactly at the side seams because it's the way the way that the original Pokemon looks, the way that the original tail of the Pokemon is, it's, it comes off the back and it's kind of wide and it's black, and it slowly tapers to a narrow point, which hits the ground, curves slightly, and then has that kind of shape. You saw the picture. It's not going to curve because it's not going to hit the ground, and it's I'm not using any black fabric. I'm just going to use the length of the kimono for the black part of the tail. And I want to basically have the tail, what I was thinking about it is to do the orange bit and actually have a bit that comes up as a point at the back, because there's a slight, the black comes down, but it comes up, and there's a triangle of orange. But I measured from the hem to the floor, and it's 18 inches. It's the comfortable length where it won't drag. So this paper is not long enough. And I have until the beginning of August is when they're going to the convention. But hopefully this won't take me that long. It's Monday, and I would like to get this done in a couple of days. Ooh, I'm almost out of wrapping paper. Yep, that's the last of my wrapping paper. I forgot to mention the fabric I got from Fabric Wholesale Direct. They have a lot of variety for fabric, and it's really cheap for the most part. I think this was on sale, and it was like $8 a yard. Some of their fabrics, like if it's got lots of embroidery or if it's made out of natural fibers, like silk, like expensive natural fibers, it will be more expensive, but that's normal. So if it's feels too small. Like I didn't want this to be too wide. And the triangle for the back. Like that. Because the tail in the official Pokemon art isn't that wide. I feel like this is too small. And it gets too fat too fast. I'm not going to worry about the tail today. I'm just going to start on the wings because that's easier. So I need to cut out 4 pieces, 2 per sleeve. I also have to be conscious of how much fabric I use because I need 4 pieces of this, 2 pieces of the tail, and then 1 piece for the collar. It should be enough. Yeah, I should be fine. I'm not even gonna bother. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother washing this fabric, considering it's just a cosplay, and she probably won't be throwing it in the wash, so I don't have to worry about shrinkage.
That sounds to me like yellow bile. Yellow bile. Panama Canal. She thinks it's working. Okay, you know
Alright. I'm doing the pattern pieces without seam allowance included. I just have to remember to actually cut it out with seam allowance. There's a word for it. I don't remember what the word is. I know one is net and one is something. And I think net is what I'm doing right now, where I don't have seam allowance included in the paper pattern, but I'll cut it out with seam allowance. And that's why I decided to trace around the patterns first. I'm going to pin the fabric just so it doesn't shift on me while I cut. And then somehow get the lines transferred to one of the other pieces, since there are 4 here. I just don't want to have to cut it out twice. That's the only thing. Never used a poly cotton blend before. I've also never got fabric from Fabric Wholesale Direct. I plan on, obviously with her input, I plan on doing another cosplay for my partner, one of her like dream dresses. And remember I'm cutting with seam allowance. And the dress, I'm just kind of winging it. I have a pattern and stuff, but I used Milanote, first time using it. Not sponsored. Little old me sponsored. That's hilarious. I used Milanote to kind of like have all of my I can't talk and cut at the same time, apparently. To keep track of all of the materials that I need. I'm going to make her a corset and the dress and all that kind of stuff. So I compiled, a bunch of links, like the whole Milanote thing. And a lot of the fabrics are coming from FWD. So when she asked for this, I was like, I'm definitely going to look there first than anywhere else, because I know that they have some cheap stuff there. And I just focused on finding an orange fabric that I thought would be a close match. It's a little bright, I think, compared to the art. didn't mention this while I was working on the pirate coat, but I was using up a lot of old thread. Maybe I did mention this. Years ago, I got a box of like sewing supplies from someone that I knew online. It was like belonged to their aunt or somebody. Um, and in it were those large weekly pill containers full of bobbins. That's the little ones that go on the bottom of a variety of different colors. And I'm pretty sure that the person that this stuff belonged to had like an embroidery machine, uh, judging by the number of colors that they had in bobbins. And also, there was just kind of like bags of like scrap lace. I think they probably did wedding dress alterations because it was just bags and bags of white and ivory like lace scraps and like little embroidered things. And there was also a couple like embroidered things that were just kind of loose. I can actually show them because I want to use them for something. So there was 4 things that came in that box. The first one that makes me go, oh yeah, that was definitely somebody who had an embroidery machine, was this. Super cute, kind of gives me like apron vibes. And when I got this box, it was, I want to say like beginning of lockdown. So beginning of 2020 and the pandemic and all that kind of stuff. And I was getting really into like doll customizing and making clothes for dolls. And I had bought like a bunch of secondhand Monster High with the intent of customizing them. Never got that far with that because I struggled with doing the faces. But I saw this and I was like, ooh, that could be like an apron or something. Thought that was super cute. There was also this. Now these 3, I believe they were white or like off-white. And I have tea stained them, which is something that I do. So there's this little like leaf flower thing. And then there's, I don't know which way is the front, this like little figure with an umbrella, a dress, and a nice little lacy border. And then this, which also gives me like apron vibes. And these were probably white or maybe like a really light off-white that I had basically thrown into a pot of tea bags that had been steeping, like a ton of tea bags that had been steeping, and with some salt or vinegar or something to help set the color, to make them a color that's more in my color palette. Anyway, I am going to sew around all edges except for the straight top edge. And since it's on both sides, there's 4 of them. I have 2 that I can follow the lines on and make. Went on a tangent. What I was saying is I had a box and it was all this thread from somebody who probably did embroidery machine stuff. So for the pirate coat, this is where I was going with that story. I rambled too much. You guys got to keep me in check. I was using up a bunch of those little bobbins because it was just colors I don't use and colors that I don't have a spool to match. So I would just have them and not be able to do anything with them. There's like black and white, and there's like a red that was very similar to the spool of red that I have. And I used that for the red trim on the coat. But what I was going to say was my bobbin thread is a slightly different shade of orange. That is from me. I have another shade of orange, but during Joanne's closing, I just grabbed a bunch of colors that I thought I might use, and I have one that is a closer orange to my fabric. But I don't feel like making a bobbin for it, I don't feel like making a bobbin for it since I have one that's similar. But anyway, I'm going to sew around the lines except for the top here. And that will give me nice crisp edges on the feather tip bottom pieces of the wings. I'm just going to trim down the seam allowance so there's less bulk. I was going to do that with the pinking shears, but they didn't like the fabric. That's fine. The pinking shears give me issues. I don't use them very often.
Let go of my ball. Wait, what are you doing? Wait, you don't know yourself. Wait. Let your arms, you asshole. God damn it, I haven't done a single one in. I got one. I got two.
This is freight check. I usually only use it on doll clothes because their seam allowances are so small you can't like actually finish the edges. But I want to just put a little bit on the tops of each peak and then the corners. Since I just clipped the corners, my stitches are a little close. So it's basically a very thin glue. Dab it into the corner. You see that? It's wet. That means it's got a little bit of the freight check on it. Hopefully it won't discolor the fabric. That happens sometimes. Ooh, I forgot this happens. Freight check can make ink run. So I'm going to give these a quick iron to get rid of the pen marks. So that it doesn't make the pen ink run, even though it's whatever. I'm gonna be honest, I'd never made anything like this before. I didn't realize that narrow of a point would turn out so poorly. That's on me for not knowing. Is it because it's not cut all the way? Yeah. Because I can't cut it all the way up to the point, it turns out poorly. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. Am I going to try and cut into it more? Make sure there's more glue? So I can really cut into that point? Yeah, I'm going to try it. I just realized I wasn't filming. I don't know when I stopped filming and then didn't hit record. Man, I stuffed these with a little bit of polyfill. I've pinned them closed, and I decided starting tomorrow, since I'm tired, it's 4 o'clock, I'm going to just sew it with orange thread on the top, black thread on the bottom, straight to the bottom edge of the sleeve, and call it done. I can't believe I... Can't believe I didn't record any of that. I said a bunch of stuff, and I don't even remember what I said. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
I didn't say what needed to be said. And it happened quickly. Yeah, because at least it's all out there. I mean, what therapy does is it helps you get it all out there without necessarily doing it in the ugliest, meanest way. You know, but those things that they were saying needed to be said. They needed to call each other out and say, this is what you're doing that hurts me. This is what you're doing that is hurting our friendship. And you know what? They got there. Because these guys always get there. And they're going to always work through their issues in the form of ways that now exist.
turning the other point out to reinforce the stitches, because I planned on top stitching all around the entire thing. Also, the interfacing kind of like helps prevent the tearing and fraying of the fabric. But if you can see, this whole edge I stitched outside of the interfacing. Hopefully top stitching will prevent any other places from doing that, since I did cut the seam allowance really close to it. And what I plan on doing is, once it's completely turned out the right way, giving it a good press, but then when I sew it to the bottom hem of the kimono, these edges will be tucked in, so it's a nice point, top stitched down, and then I would continue all the way around the entire shape.
Halloween style, they're like, oh, you're right, same direction. I was like, I didn't keep Let's all sing this song.
I learned from my lessons I'm not cutting the seam allowance as small as I did last time. Alright, so the cosplay is done. Here's one of the wings. I decided not to do the stripe on the collar. I just could not figure out how I wanted to do it, what would be the best way to do it. And the fabric ended up being way thinner than I expected. It doesn't look like it on the website listing, but it's a very lightweight, almost transparent fabric. And having it with a black background, you see all seam allowance and stuff like that. There's the top of the tail and the bottom of the tail. Not quite right, but I really wanted that triangle in there because it's part of the Pokemon's design. But yeah, that's it. I hope she likes it. I will be giving it to her soon, probably next week. Thank you so much for watching. If you like crochet, sewing, or any other kinds of crafts, please consider a follow. I update every Sunday, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!